Okay, I start with opening up the energy field. Bring in light. Then I expand the energy field. So expanding the energy field helps to hold more light in the system, and also more awareness comes with that as well. So I'm expanding. And it's possible always to have a more expanded energy field. So this is basically a never ending. This is never ending. So it can be always more expanded. So I fill up the expanded space with light. And then I clear surface energies. So surface energies are just energies and emotions that are floating around the top of your system. And I'm clearing them right now. So energies you have been exposed to over the past 1 or 2 days, and emotions that have been triggered basically over the past 1 or 2 days. So, and maybe you can feel when I clear those surface energies that more light can come in right away. So more light is flowing in, and the system just can calm down more and faster. Then I open up the energy field again. So always when I open up the energy field again, the light can flow into deeper layers and work on those layers. So I'm opening up the energy field more and more. Layer after layer. And then I bring in more light. And the light is already specifically working on the heart chakra. It's expanding the heart chakra. And also the energy field around the heart chakra. And it's also working on the third eye right now, the third eye chakra. And also the throat chakra. And because the transmission is working on the third eye chakra, it's clearing blockages right away. Maybe you can feel it. More light can enter the system, so more light is coming in. It's filling up your system with high vibrational divine light. So there's more of that coming in, more of that, more of that. And it really, so the light really expands the area around the heart chakra. So maybe you can feel the pressure because it really wants that area to be more expanded. So there's a lot of pressure in that area outward. Maybe you can feel that from inside out. There's just a lot more light flowing in, a lot more light flowing through the crown chakra and the third eye chakra into your whole system. And it's filling up your system. And at the same time, it's working on removing blockages. Okay, and while it's doing that, I open up the central energy channel. So the central energy channel is located in the center of your energy field. It goes from the root to the crown chakra, and this is where life energy flows through the system. So life energy flows from the root to the crown, falls back down left and right, and flows up again, and so on. It's just a constant flow. And what we want is we want to have as much life energy flowing as possible, because the more there is flowing, the more also is life experienced as that, just unfolding, a flow. And also it removes blockages. And this is what we want as well. So I'm expanding this channel more and more so that the possibility is there that more light is flowing. So I'm expanding, 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 expanding. Always from the crown chakra down, all the chakras to the root chakra. This is where I expand. And then I'm accelerating the life energy. So again, it's the same with the life energy. There can always be more life energy flowing. So this is also never ending. So I'm accelerating the life energy. And also the clearer the system gets, the more life energy can flow. So clearer meaning from blockages, stuck energies, and energy influences. And then I help it to flow more from the root to the crown chakra. Then I open up the chakras more. I start with the crown chakra. The third eye chakra. Throat chakra. Maybe you can feel the expansion in that area when I open up that specific chakra. If not, just know it's happening, but maybe you can feel it. Then heart chakra. The third chakra. Second chakra. and first chakra. So the system is already a lot more expanded. There is a lot more light present than before we started. So there is a lot of light present. And right now, it's interesting, it's working like on the so the outside layer of our energy field. So there's like the layer, the outside layer, the one on the furthest on the outside, and it's working on that one. So it's basically so the best way I can describe it, there is the layer that's most on the outside of our energy field, and it's kind of thinning this layer out so that it is just a little bit thinner, and it kind of merges with all that is. So this is basically what the energy is doing right now. So it's just preparing for the unity, or if you are already in unity consciousness, it's just reinforcing that experience. So becoming one with everything. And this just means that the outside layer of your energy field that basically makes the experience that you are separate from everything, that you are individual, of course, but you're separate from everything. When this outside layer is removed, then you become one with everything. And this is unity consciousness or oneness. And this is what the energy is doing right now. So it's working on that outside layer. It's thinning out this outside layer. And maybe you can feel, I mean, it's very subtle, but like the energy changes so much when like the universal energy merges with your system's energy. It's a totally different flavor. It's a lot more high vibrational. There's a lot of information in there. And this is now pouring into your system, basically from all directions. But just slowly, it's pouring in. Because the transmission was thinning out the layer, and there were like little, I guess, let's just say little holes or something like that. And this is where this universal energy now was able to access your system. So it's now accessing your system, entering your system, and filling up your system, so that universal energy with that unity and oneness information is filling up your system. And interesting, also the energy flow of your system changes now. So there is more like an outward flow from the inside out. From the inside out, so the flow of the energy changes. And it basically from the inside out and also into the universal energy. So it's the energy of your system and the universal energy are basically exchanging information. And this is important because the system learns more. So the high information of the universal energy comes in, and then the system can learn more. It has a knowing of that somewhere. Okay, so it knows that. information already, but it kind of needs to remember it. Like, we need to remember who we really are. Also, the system needs to remember the information is somewhere there. And interesting, the best way I can describe it, the universal energy is learning. It's learning from our individual experience. So by coming into our system and the energy then moving outwards, the information moving outwards, is basically we feed the universal energy with information, and the universal energy is just learning. This is what I'm getting. Interesting. And because of this energy exchange, we are getting a lot. So our system is getting a lot of light, a lot of higher information. And there is like this excitement in the system in a way. This excitement, okay, I know that, I remember that, this is familiar. And that's perfect because this is what we want. So remembering who and what you are beyond the human experience. So this is basically happening right now, or the help is coming to experience that for good. So help is coming in for that. And now the energy works specifically on the third chakra. And there are blockages there, so I'm going to assist and clear blockages. So there is so first I just see contractions. So it's like a contraction of the system. So fill up the third chakra with light, that more energies can come up. So more low vibrational energies can come up and then can leave the system. So I clear the energy of worry. I clear the energy of worry, worry, worry. So worry is just a big one, and stress, worry and stress, worry and stress. Worry and stress are so present in our Western world that it just prevents us from seeing what really is, what the present moment brings, being in the present moment, feeling what the present moment is bringing up. It's like stress and worries is the energy of worry and the energy of stress is just they're just very disturbing energies, and they can take overhand quite quickly. So they take over other energies quite quickly, so especially high vibrational ones. So I'm clearing the energies of worries and stress, worries and stress, worries and stress, worries and stress. So also stress related around, so specifically comes up around spiritual awakening. So stress for the system, that it needs to get somewhere, it needs to do something, it needs to achieve something. So this kind of stress, I'm just clearing it. Then also energy of confusion. So just energy of confusion, because all that stored energies we have in our system, some of them, they get triggered and multiple at the same time. So there's just a lot going on. Then there are also the thoughts. So it's kind of a very busy, our systems are very busy. There's a lot going on. And with that, just confusion comes. So just this overwhelmed and confusion. So I clear those energies. Third chakra. I clear overwhelmed and confusion. And there is so the whole human aspect and the identification. So we have the human, and then we have the identification with the human. And because we've been practicing this our whole life, our whole lives, the energy of identification has been reinforced so many times, so many times, so many times. So it's like the it's like a addiction, really, because it has been reinforced so many times, and it always gets feedback. So the human gets fed, and then there's a reaction. So there's always a feedback. So it's a loop. It's like addiction. I mean, it's just how our human system works, but just energetically seen. So I'm gonna work on that. I'm sending healing energies into, first of all, into this whole loop, into this whole process. So when healing energies are coming in, it's like the energy of the highest truth. So whatever is not of the highest truth around this loop, so it's the whole loop is not of the highest truth. it then starts working on that loop and breaking it down. So it is extreme strong energy around reinforcing the identification, because I see this causes a lot of stress for the system. So when this identification, so it breaks down over time, but it takes up so much of our energy. So the less identification is there, the less reinforcement of that, the more energy we have available for something else. But we're just constantly reinforcing this, and we are in this loop. So basically our energy is trapped. Okay, so I clear also energy of identification out of the system. And also that energy that reinforces all the time, creates this loop. And basically I get the information just that, we don't need this mechanism anymore. We just don't need it. It's outdated. So maybe you can feel the difference. There's a lot more space, a lot more light is flowing. The energy field is a lot more relaxed and open. Also, maybe you feel it in the body, very relaxed and open, especially around heart chakra and heart and throat chakra. So in that area, it's just opening up more and more. Because every time we release some stuck energies and misunderstandings and all of that, these divine lights can come in, work on the system, and higher information. So this universal energy can come in, and we can live more from there. So that's then it becomes part of us. So it merges with us. Every time we give something away, something needs to come in. So there can never be like nothing, energetically seen. So when we give low vibrations away and we connect to high vibrations, then of course we can have high vibration in our system, but it could also go the other way. So people who connect to low vibrational energies all the time, to fear, they just get more fear. There's just more fear coming in, and this is exactly, we want to have it the other way. We want to have more highest truth, more love. Yeah. And that's coming in now. Okay, clear more energies. Heart chakra. Heart chakra is always identification. So the stress energy out of the heart chakra is it's too much, it's too much, it's too much, it's too much. I'm confused, I'm confused, I'm confused, I'm confused. It's just too much. I don't see beyond it. I don't see beyond it. I can't see what's behind. I just don't see it. I 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 can't see it. I can't see it. It's just too much going on. It's just too much going on. There's stress. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm worried. So there's a lot of worries, a lot of energy of worries. I'm worried, I'm worried, I'm worried. So about a whole lot of different things. So worried about about a lot of outside things. So what's happening on the outside, but not even in your life experience. So let's say you hear certain things on the news, or somebody shares an experience, or somebody shares their negative predictions. This could happen, that could happen, or you hear negative stories of people. And so I'm clearing, clearing. Also the energy of confusion, because, if somebody shares their story, they come from, first of all, they have a different system, a different understanding, and their consciousness reflects differently. So they share their experience, but you see it with your lens. So depending on what you have in your system, wherever you are, like in which place, like high vibrational or more low vibrational in that moment. So also depending on that, you see it through that lens. And so information exchange it's just an energy exchange, and everybody perceives it differently. And I'm also just clearing energies or experiences out of your heart chakra where just sharings from people and everything that comes in from the outside, how you perceive things you perceived it in a low vibrational way, and in a way that stressed your system. So that was just very stressful. So I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm just so stressed, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed. I don't see beyond it. I don't see beyond it. I don't see beyond it. There's so much going on. There's so much going on. I can't see beyond it. It's just too much. It's too much. And then there is this mechanism of the system that's like, okay, no, stop. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to see anything. I don't want to have anything to do with other people's stuff or whatever's going on in my life. It's just too much. So this is just a mechanism. I'm also going to heal and clear this mechanism. It's basically also a blockage, and it just prevents us from allowing the experience to move through. So, we have a human experience, we have emotions. This is just how it is. And when we are in experience, we live through different emotions, and it's all about living through them and then fully releasing them, so that they're not getting stuck in the system over and over again. So basically just creating more karma, more karma, more karma. But when they're released, we're not creating any new karma. And this is basically the goal. So emptying out the system, having an open enough system that the energies don't get stuck again, and then you don't accumulate any new karma. And that's absolutely amazing if that's happening, because it's life-changing. This is why we remove blockages, so that life energy can flow more, and every experience you have can just move through faster, or It doesn't even have to be fast. Like you are in that experience, you experience it, and then it just moves through. When the experience is done, all the energies are just leaving the system. And then it's like you can't even tap back into them. You might have a memory of them mentally, but like there are no emotions. You can't bring forward the emotions again. You can't like step back into the situation. It's not possible. So this is what we want. I'm also going to clear a little bit of energy, fear energy. So root chakra. So interesting. The system thinks worries and stress are necessary for different things. So there is fear around actually not having worries and stress. Very interesting, because the system, sometimes there's a misunderstanding. It finds it useful. So stress that we, for example, can accomplish more, or worries because, a good mother worries, for example, or worries means taking taking care of somebody. No, not taking care, but like caring for somebody. But it's not like that, right? You know, it's not. It's just a misunderstanding. Just because I worry about somebody doesn't mean I'm taking care of that person. I'm actually, it's the opposite. So I'm clearing. And there's just this misunderstanding. So this fear of not having worries and stress. And then I also clear the energies, the misunderstandings. So that part that has these misunderstandings in them, around that stress is necessary for whatever reason, it's serving you. And stress doesn't just come up from doing a lot, it could also come up from doing nothing. There are totally different ways how we can experience stress. So healing, clear that energy. And then the worries, so that worries are also necessary. So either I take care of somebody and help somebody, or I don't. Like worries is not gonna change anything or help anybody. It just makes everything worse. So I'm healing and clearing this misunderstanding of the system. And maybe you can feel how extremely relaxed the system is now. Like, oh my God, I don't have to worry. That's amazing. I don't have to stress. That's amazing. So in that kind of way, it's really relieved that it doesn't have to do that. And there is, again, a lot more light coming in. The system gets more expanded because more low vibration energies and misunderstandings could leave the system. So that's really amazing. And also heart chakra is expanding, and right away it's like, so there is a part that doesn't want to feel. So the one we were talking about before, it says, okay, stop. No, I don't want to, see anything, experience anything anymore. I just don't want to be involved. This is a blockage, especially in the heart chakra level as well, because the feeling things, basically, it's not that we feel with the heart chakra, but just that heart chakra stands for that. This is the representation for feeling things, is the heart chakra, and also identifying as well. So there's expansion happening on the heart chakra level. And the understanding everything is how it's supposed to be and everything is perfect as it is also there now, or a lot more. So the heart understands that more. So by clearing those energies, the understanding for the heart could come in more, or could be opened up more. Just this understanding. Because when we live through the heart and not through the mind, the heart doesn't resist. Just the system can resist, the mind can resist, but the heart itself never resists. It just says, I guess it says yes to everything. Or it's just open. It's just open to everything. It doesn't say yes or no. Like, it doesn't even say anything. It's just open. It allows and is surrendered. Yeah. So open up the energy field more. Bring in light. And the energy that's coming in right now helps us it pulls us deeper and deeper, so just deeper into our consciousness. So this is what the energy is doing for us right now. It pulls us deeper, deeper and deeper. Okay, I clear more energies. Again, heart chakra and then also throat chakra. So heart chakra first. Just pain. So I clear the energy of pain. The energy of pain. So specifically right now around not getting what you wanted. So there were experiences in your life where there were things you really wanted and were really important to you and very precious to you. Just something you really wanted, like also from the heart, you just wanted it, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen for some reason, or somebody prevented it from happening. And there's just pain around this pain. So I clear that pain. And also then the blame. So when this happened and you felt like somebody was preventing that, then the blame towards that person. So I blame. So that energy, and you were blaming somebody. It could be a person, it could also be a situation, a circumstances. And looking on the outside, it can sometimes seem there are random circumstances that are there. But there is nothing random. So in creation, everything is perfect, orchestrated. So random is not a thing. So if we experience something, we just need to experience it. And it's not random. And what suffers is always the human identification. I mean, the body, of course, if like it has to do with the body and there's pain in the body, of course, there's suffering. So this is one part, definitely. But if there is no identification, like we suffer with the body, and then when, I don't know, like we break an arm or something, and then we are in pain, and then when it's healed again, the suffering is over. And then like it doesn't stay, everything just leaves. So when we are in the situation, of course, we can, experience pain, we can experience suffering. Again, it's all about that it then leaves when it's over, that it then leaves the system. But when we identify, we just keep it. First of all, when we identify, we make it part of our story, of us, of who we are, and we just hold it. We hold it in our system. So we are reinforcing it and we are holding on to it. And there's pain, heart chakra, around realizing that a lot of a suffering we experienced in our lifetimes is really because we were holding on to certain experiences. So there's pain around that heart chakra. So to fear, to worries, to anger, to hatred, like all those energies, we were holding on to them, or we are holding on to them. And what's behind there is, I just want to be free. I just want to be free. I just want to be free. Free of all of this. And the transmission that's coming in is assisting. It's assisting to free your system, to liberate your system. And it's right now working a lot also on the mind level, because a lot of suffering and holding on happens because of the mind. The mind creates stories and it creates it over and over again, and looking at it from all directions. So something happened and the mind can look at it from all directions, like for hours and hours, for weeks, months and years. You can look at the same situation from all directions, reinforcing it, reinforcing the experience, and always like creating it a little bit different, like coming from this direction, this is a creation, and coming from the other direction, creating it just a little bit different, coming from another direction again. So creating a whole story around an experience, basically. This is what the mind is doing. So the energy is working on the mind level. Again, it's also helping that this story, the energy that's basically telling the story, so I always just call them the random thoughts, that they receive less energy for doing that. So there are just less stories created, until one day there are just no stories created. You just have the experience, you are in the experience, and that's it. And there is just no story. You see what's happening, and that's happening, and then you move on, and that's it. So there is no like story. There's just no story. There's also no thinking back to that experience. Yeah, it just doesn't happen anymore. So the energy right now is working on the third eye chakra and also specifically on the brain. So it works a lot on the brain. It gives the brain more energy. So I'm shown like this loop, this when we reinforce thoughts, these stories, there is also a loop, and the energy is working on the brain now, and it kind of helps it. So it brings more light into the brain, that there is more light that's not just working on those loops, so that there is basically more space for creativity, for other thoughts. So not just the one that's being reinforced all the time. So for more creative thoughts, if any. And it also helps to break down these reinforced loops. So this habitual thinking, I guess we can say. There is so much light present. There's a lot of light in and around our energy field. So much light present. And again, it's specifically working on the third eye chakra and also the brain still. So I just let it work for a minute or two. It's interesting. It seems like it's raising the vibration of the brain as well, because it makes the brain more perceptive for high vibrational information. So it seems like the brain has a vibration by itself, and also depending on the vibration of the brain, that kind of thoughts are coming up. So if the brain has a more low vibrational frequency, then the thoughts that are thinking by themselves, they are more low vibrational. So the focus is more on the low vibrational ones. But now the, the the vibration of the brain is being raised to receive more high vibrational thoughts as well. So if you have thoughts, so first of all, it helps to break down that mechanism, but if you still have thoughts, that they can focus more on high vibrational thoughts. Okay, this is what's happening right now. I'm clearing the loop that always focuses on the low vibrational thoughts as well. So I help to clear that loop or that focus. And I put in the information into the brain that we want to focus on love and joy. And it doesn't mean that you're thinking all day about love and joy, not at all. It's just the vibration of that. That's what I'm putting into your brain. It just means that the focus is going to shift. of the thoughts. And that means suddenly, when you're not thinking about low vibrational thoughts all the time or low vibrational things, but high vibrational, that means there are more opportunities and possibilities there, because low vibrational thoughts are just preventing us from seeing other things. It's holding us small, it's a limitation. I mean, thoughts in general are limiting, uh, are a limitation because we are more than our thoughts, but we just have them in our system. They're part of our system, and we just think. So that's good, right? It's actually a amazing function of the human to have thoughts. But it's also about, where is the focus? Is it on fear? Is it on negative outcomes? Is it what can happen? What negative things could happen? Thinking about these negative things, or other way, being more neutral, being more neutral, or high vibrational ones, really. But this takes some time, because the human system really focuses just on the negativity because of the survival mode. But this possibility now is happening to totally rewrite our system towards a higher truth, higher vibrations. That also means higher vibrational thoughts. So seeing possibilities, or thinking about possibilities, and not the other way around, preventing us from seeing them because of the fearful thoughts. So the energy is massively working on the brain, and the crown chakra still. And the mind has just an impact, a large impact also on our life experience. So it's important to clear the system and to not be triggered and not have low vibration energies in the system, but the mind is also important. So this is just why the energy is working on the mind right now, because it can create blockages. The mind can create blockages, and we don't want that. Okay. So I'm getting this energy of that the human in general. So it's just part of our system because this ancestral influence. is very proud of the mind and how it thinks, and that it can think and that it can create. But interesting, it was never the mind creating anything, ever. It was always life energy bringing in the information for us. So it's in the energy field and the mind picking up that information and then just basically reading this information. So everybody's doing that on one level. But it was never the mind creating something. This is not even a thing. But we think it is. You know, we think, oh, there are great minds out there and they've been creating this or that. No, they're channeling higher information, but they just don't know. And so I'm clearing the ancestral influence. I cut it off and I cleared that being so proud of the very amazing mind, and that the mind can move mountains. So this is just the energy. So I also sent healing to the ancestors and cut off from this influence. This takes a lot of pressure from our system, and also just this pressure that we put into our mind, that we need to think it, we need to figure it out, and all of that, because it comes from a different level. So knowingness always comes from the heart, and the information comes from the life energy, or from the pure beingness, which is then eventually the same information source. So there's still a lot of light working again on the brain and the crown chakra, specifically the brain. So there's just so much light in the brain, it's being lit up, there's so much work happening. And if the brain is healed and the mind is redirected, so higher vibrational, that also means at the same time we can live more from the heart. Because just the mind is preventing us from living more from the heart, because there's just too much going on the mind level, so that we don't see the information of the heart. And it's also questioning. So if there is information coming from the heart, the mind is questioning. And this is basically what's been working on, so that this is not going to happen anymore, or at least less and less over time. Okay, and there's an interesting energy I can clear, the energy of bitterness. Bitterness, yeah. Clear it out of the system. Interesting. That's actually a funny one, because we want to experience the sweetness of this reality. So I had to clear the bitterness. That's funny. Okay. So that's coming up, the sweetness. Oh my goodness. And now this energy is coming in. So we can feel it now. We can experience the sweetness of this, how sweet this life experience can be experienced, basically. So we get a taste of that right now. So there's this sweetness. I didn't even know that the energy can be sweet, but it can. It's coming in right now. It seems like it can. That feels really, really nice. And this sweetness brings at the same time an openness of the heart. So it's both the sweetness and the heart. It's just related, or they come in, they come together. So if the heart is open, the sweetness of this experience, this life experience, can be there. And now I'm also raising the vibration of the heart. So the heart chakra. And the information comes in to put into the heart chakra is everything is perfect as it is. Everything is there for a reason. And there are no mistakes. And it's really about what do you experience in your everyday life. It's all about your individual experience. Looking at this, seeing what's actually there, what's happening. And this is all that exists for you. There's nothing else. So we hear stories from people, we hear the news, we read newspaper, all of that, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. But it's all about what do I experience and how do I perceive it. And was like the day unfolding itself, it's always neutral, everything is always neutral. And just depending on from what lens we're seeing it through, of yeah, this is that what shapes the experience. So if we see it from a high vibrational lens, we see the possibilities. And if we see it from a low vibrational lens, it's like we see it from the lens of fear and blockages. So there is like, yeah. There are no possibilities in the low vibrational. There's just protection and fear, and in high vibrational energy, there's possibilities. There are solutions. There's potential. And it doesn't mean that life unfolds without obstacles. Of course, there are obstacles. Otherwise, I guess it would be really boring to be here, not having a few obstacles here and there. But depending on from which lens we're coming from, the obstacle can be something that helps us to grow, to expand, to understand, to learn, or it can be something low vibrational to like protect us even more and more and more. So this is the two possibilities. There are only two, and there are layers. So there is like the fear, and then there is like other low vibrational energies. They're maybe not as low vibrational, but they just still all come from fear. And there is the love or the truth, and then other high vibrational energies. But they're all coming from those. So it's just those two, yes and no, open or closed. So, and also the connection up to a higher guidance, um, so a higher truth. So it could be God, the Divine Mother, it could be the universe, whatever you like to connect to, whatever you like to think it is. But this connection is also being reinforced because it's a focus on something very, very high vibrational. So it's also, where is our focus at? Is it on God, the Divine Mother, or is it on something fearful? And it's being just this connection up is being reinforced so that your focus, the focus of the system, is just towards the high vibration or the higher possibilities, and not the other way. So we don't need the other way anymore. We can let this go. So the focus is being reinforced. Maybe you can feel it. It's crown chakra, third eye chakra. So the energy is very strong there, and up. So the channels up. It's just basically having this openness in these chakras or in these areas. And focusing on the high vibrations. And the energy right now is very persistent, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna let you get away with anything here. You know, I'm working on that, and you might be guided into situations over the next 1 or 2 days where you see that you are focusing on low vibrations. It will be shown to you. So just be aware it's possible. And then you can just let this go and focus on the high vibration, focus on higher possibilities. Because this is shaping your reality. Again, we all live in our own little consciousness ball with our own little reflection of life experience. So it's very individual. We live in a collective, but we still have this very individual life experience. And we could, like, there could be two people sitting beside each other, One is very high vibrational and one is very low vibrational, seeing the same things with their eyes, but like having a total different experience, like total opposite. One sees something extremely fearful, the other one sees something very beautiful. Um, okay, let's go with a very simple example because it just pops up into my mind. Like two people sitting there, and there is a dog approaching, and one person is extremely afraid of dogs, like absolutely afraid because probably had a negative experience. And the other person just loves dogs so much and has 10 dogs at home and takes care of them and walks them every day. And so it's the same situation, and the system reacts totally different. So one person wants to approach the dog, pet the dog, cuddle it, all these things, feed it maybe. And the other person just wants to run away. So it's a totally different experience of the same situation. The situation itself is neutral. There's just a dog. It's just a dog. And always depending on how we see it with our system, with our lens, we shape the experience. So it's all very individual. Okay. And the energy is very persistent. It wants you to understand this. It really wants you to understand this. So not just you on the mind level, but also your systems. It really wants you to understand this. You shape your life experience. It's only you. Nobody else does it for you or is influencing it. Of course, a lot are just mechanisms and we don't really, know how to work with them yet. But just that information is very important. Because how it works, by doing this work, we understand it more and more and more, and then we can work with it ourselves. Okay, before we finish, I just want to say that so the energy is persistent and it doesn't want us to let us to get away with anything anymore because it's time, to change. But at the same time, it's holding us in this wonderful and lovable space where you know, we can learn and we can um, surrender, and we're just held and looked after. So this is just the amazing part of it. So we can totally, yeah, just allow everything to happen because we're held, looked after, and loved. Okay.